Welcome to Real Estate Matters. Everything you want to know from buying a house to selling a house, from investing to flipping real estate. And now here's two ladies who know their way around a real estate listing, Tamika Bryant and Christy Porter.
Good afternoon, Tamika. Welcome back this week. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing, Christy?
Excellent.
Good.
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a great week. Great week for you?
Yeah.
Yes, always
Busy.
Good. And, welcome back to TV25. Welcome, TV25, here in the studio with us. We've got Brian and Tony and our producer, Mary. I'm never going to let it go, Mary.
That's right.
I'm always going to introduce you now, like every week. I'm so sorry. And our special guest,
Michaelyn Molina.
I
Welcome.
love it. Welcome.
Yes,
and is it okay if we call you Mikey?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, very good,
Yay!
Mikey. Welcome. We are so excited that you're here. We're so excited
Yeah,
that
I'm
you had
excited you guys brought me here.
some time. So let's get right into the show. We would
Okay.
love to get to know you, who you are,
Absolutely.
how you got started in real estate.
Okay, gosh. Well, I've been licensed for 19 years, and I was in college, and at the time, I was not going to do real estate. My parents were selling real estate, and I saw how hard they worked, and it was a tough business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got my license so they could go on vacation. I could watch the business for them. There was no cell phones, no internet, not even fax machines back then. So it was very difficult for a real estate agent to take a vacation. So I got licensed. They took vacations, and I graduated from Rockhurst here in Kansas City, and I went into advertising. So I worked in an ad agency for about 8 months. Gosh, that was not really the thing for me. So as I looked around, I kept selling real estate, and I realized I was pretty good at it, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved helping people realize their real estate goals, or whatever that was, where it was first-time home buyer at the time, and that was my niche market. And I think it's so important to find a niche. And that was my niche market at the time because I was early 20s. That's your thing, Tamika.
Yes, you said Tamika's magic word.
Yes,
so
I know.
I lighten up.
Right.
That's why I
hear
like
that.
Tamika. Yeah.
Word of the day is niche.
No, I was
slap.
definitely.
That's right. Like every.
I was drawn to Tamika because she uses that word all the time. So yeah. So I was young. There was no young agents, and actually, so I knew Tony from. We were in the same office and young, and he's very cool. So I was like, well, all right. So yeah, we kind of had a friendship then. So it was great. So then as I kind of kept progressing through the business, I worked with my mom and dad and stayed in it, and got married and had children, which was excellent. And having partners like my parents the trust foundation was important to me. So we specialized. We lived out in the country. I grew up on 10 acres. I showed horses all my life competitively. And so I realized there's not a lot of agents that understand land and the uses of land and how either a family would use that land, whether it's their kids in 4-H and having a couple of horses and goats and whatever, or a farmer or a recreational person hunting on the land, or someone investor looking for transitional land, looking for that land that's going to turn into 119th and Metcalf. Everybody always wants that, right?
Oh, sure. That's
But
hot.
so those are all the different. But a lot of agents in our market don't understand that and don't get that. So that's where we specialized. And then I live in Overland Park also, so that's I also specialize in that market too.
So a little in the city, but love in the country,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Can't take
absolutely.
the country out of the girl. Is that true?
Yeah, that's very true.
That's right. Because that leads us into one of your niches, like you were just
Right.
talking about, with the land and then the use of land with the homes on land.
Correct.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I always describe my business as, and I'm very focused on having a business and not, and focusing on how I can create a great business for other people, vendors, and also my clients. So servicing them at the highest level by having a business. So my business is three-headed, I say. You've got the residential in town, live in a typical subdivision. That's one head. Then the other side is the homes on land. They're 5 to 100 acres, maybe that much. We don't have many of that in Kansas City, but usually 5 to 40 acres. And then just raw land, like not a subdivision lot, but something from 10 acres up to 100 acres is what I focus on. So that's 3 different departments that I really focus on in my business.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, I remember I went to a listing, and someone says, "Oh, it was one of the dealerships I was working with," and they were like, "Well, we want to give you a lead." I said, "Okay." They were like, "Well, come on out and come on." Now you guys know I'm a city girl, right? I'm a concrete princess,
yes.
Right.
from the Bronx.
Absolutely, right.
So I went driving out there, didn't really know what was going on, and I get on the property, and I'm like, "Okay, so what am I doing?"
Yeah.
I look up, and it's a barn.
Yeah.
And they wanted, I think, $1.2 million for a barn.
That's a
Right.
nice barn, right?
No house, no anything else. So in that situation,
Right.
I didn't feel comfortable enough that I knew enough
Right.
about listing something of
Right.
such, I was
Different out of your
way
comfort
out.
zone.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
have any concrete out there,
Right.
no condos, none of that stuff
Yeah,
was going
no
on.
taxis.
No,
Yeah.
None of that. I couldn't
Right.
Uber out there or anything.
Right.
So in that situation, would you recommend that how would they even?
Well, actually, that's a great point because that's one of my my number one source of listing is my listing business comes from referrals. So past clients or agents in my office that may have a client that has a property to sell, land to sell, or a home on land to sell, that they may have not been able to service that client and they would have just had them go to somebody else.
Right.
But since now I'm really focused on that and not been quiet about that, that they now send that to me as a referral, and I handle it all. And I work with a lot of agents, past clients, that they can't, maybe they don't know how to show a buyer land or sell that property.
So do you have special designations or special
No,
training for that?
Actually, there are a couple of different designations you can do. But right now, Keller Williams, they saw a niche for this. We've obviously seen that there's a huge need for the commercial side, be a niche for that. And they saw Gary Keller realized there's a huge niche for the farm and ranch. And so about 3 years ago, there was a lot of talk about developing that division within Keller Williams. And so that became really important to me to be involved on a national level, really international, because Keller Williams is really focused international now. And we have a lot of international buyers coming into mostly Texas and buying land in Texas and like that. But so I sought out at Keller Williams International to be a part of the Farm and Ranch division to develop that. So I've been on that Agent Leadership Council for about 3 years now.
Cool.
And I speak at Family Reunion and our mega camp, twice a year on panels helping other agents understand how to grow their farm and ranch division and their business, even just within their own office, and really focusing on that niche. So,
And I just want to give you a shout out because what I want our listeners and our viewers to recognize with you is you are very approachable. If you haven't picked that
that's
up
nice.
about Mikey, she's
Yeah.
very easy to talk to. And land is a scary
you're right.
area for a lot of
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah.
I mean, Tamika's already spoke to that, but it really is
Right.
because you're like, I don't have a comp. What? How am I supposed to price this? I mean, really, right?
Some agents might not even know how to find those listings on MLS.
Right,
You know,
right. Because there's a
So-
whole nother division
Right.
to go looking under, and seeking.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of liability to listing land and homes on land also.
right. But it's also a good time for us to take a break.
Okay.
And when we
Perfect.
come back, I want to hear more about your other niche, which is the residential,
Awesome. Perfect.
what you're doing there,
Yeah.
your city side.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is Real Estate Matters with Tamika Bryan and Christy Porter and our special guest, Mikey Molina with Keller Williams. And we'll be right back.